What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to make a video about the 21 Honda Rubicon. This is the 2-year 3,000 mile update slash review. It's been a while since I made a video, especially this kind where we just walk around and talk. Show you guys how things are real quick. Got the 86 there, got the 23 Polaris Ranger. We need to make a video on that, talking about how horrible it is. The 17 here, looking beautiful. Mess right here. We got our well drilled, and now we're just got a lot going on here, you know, putting water lines in and whatnot. 73, 75 cat excavator, cat skid loader. But they're not the star of the show. Today we're going to be reviewing the Rubicon, so that's what we're going to do. There goes a bunny. Very smoky today. I mean, you can see it's even in the sky. That's not clouds, that's smoke. It's extremely smoky. You can just see it in the air. It's hard to tell on video. There goes Joe chasing the rabbit. Anyways, let's get the Rubicon out and make this video. Hope you guys enjoy. We went ahead and rode out here. We're not very far from the house, just about a few miles. Wanted to check out the smoke. Looks like it's getting pretty severe smoke. It's real bad. It's actually really bad. This is, you know, about as bad as it was last year. Last year it's really bad though, because there's fire right over there, fire right over here. So this was horrible, but this isn't good either. You could smell it. It's probably not good to inhale. I've kind of had a headache all day, but I just want to come here and see it. So anyways, we're going to carry on with the video. This is my 21 Honda Rubicon 520 DCT, 2 years later and 3,000 miles. It's got well over 3,000 miles, but I'm calling it 3,000 because technically, exactly 2 years after I bought it, which is July 28th, it had exactly 3,000 on the dot. Now, with these tires, I've done the calculations, so don't say anything. It loses 12 miles for every 100 miles. So if you do the math, with the miles that are on it, it's got right at about 3,500. Here's the specs. It's got 3143, so you do the math, you're about 3,500 now. 338.5 hours, 982 miles past service. That's no lie. It needs the oil change, it needs some things, you know, some maintenance. But overall, we're going to go over a few things I've learned to really like about it, things I wish were different, my experience with it, reliability, and so on. So let's stay tuned and continue. So the first question people are going to have is after 3,500 miles, how's the DCT? And I'll go ahead and say, absolutely flawless. Very rarely it does any kind of funny business. It's a matter of this. Key on, key off, it's fixed. Never left me stranded with the DCT. Nothing on here has ever left me stranded. The DCT has been absolutely amazing. It shifts great, it works great, auto or manual. I use both. Love the DCT, no complaints there for what I do. And this four-wheeler, just disclaimer, has seen tons of abuse. If you don't believe me, go back and look at some of my old videos. This thing has been abused to no end. It's only had one set of brake pads changed, so the first set lasted about 1,500 miles. I changed them, and then of course out here riding like this, it's not in the mud all the time, so it's not near as bad. These ITPs have been on here since the second day I've had it. These are a mud tire, and they've rode a lot of roads. So 3,500 miles, they look pretty dang good. So I'm going to have to say ITP makes a really good tire. They ride good, they ride smooth. Overall quality of the four-wheeler is pretty good. All this is from obvious severe abuse. This rack's actually completely broke right here. Severe abuse, like I said. All the plastic has kind of been junk from day one. A lot of the clips are broke. This main piece is broke right here. Floorboards are pretty good. Abuse there, you know, running over stuff, catching trees. Overall, I'd say the plastic's decent though. No major issues with it. Box I broke with a trailer. Zip tied it. That rear shock did that a long time ago. All original CV boots back here. Never ripped one. In the front, I ripped this CV boot with a stick about 1,500 miles ago probably. Haven't fixed it because it's so much work. I'd rather just wait till the axle goes bad and change it. but so far it's still good. It's not clunking. The front end has made a lot of squeaky noises and a lot of complaints, but over time it's kind of comes and goes. The bushings seem to be a little bit wore out. There's some slop in them now. That's to be expected with this kind of miles and rough terrain. Ball joints are good. The shocks, I think, could be better. I just put these on the softest setting today because I think they're starting to get weak. The shocks, this thing doesn't ride as good as it did when it was new, obviously. But I think the shocks are really lacking. They're kind of really going bad, I think. As far as wheel bearings, I've only had to replace this one wheel bearing at 400 miles, so I'm going to say that was a flaw. That is, by the way, the only repair I've ever made. That wheel bearing on this side. And since then, both wheel bearings right now have some slop in them, but they're not dangerous and they're not bad. I have new ones coming in the mail here this week, so we'll definitely be changing those. You know, probably within another 1,000 miles, I'll be changing the wheel bearings. So that's not terrible. I upgraded the headlights. I can't even think of it. To Choosy Ray or something like that. Thought I liked them at first. They kind of suck because on low beam, you can't see them at all. And on high beam, I don't want to always have this on. So this is actually unplugged right now. And I run these LEDs on high beam. Decent headlights, not the best. This is my Warren. I want to call it a VRX, I think is what it's called. 3,500 pound winch. I've changed the rope one time. Put this nice hook on it. The winch has seen some severe abuse, dragging logs, pulling four-wheelers out of the mud, pulling myself out, daisy-chained to other four-wheelers. This winch is the best thing I've ever seen for a winch. Absolutely flawless. Never gave me problems, never quits. Just works. That is by far the best winch I've ever seen. So if you want a winch, spend the money, get yourself a Warren. You won't be sorry. I've ran Rotella 15W40 T4 the entire time since I had this, since the first service. So I've proved to everybody. The DCT likes it. The engine likes it. I have no complaints out of the oil. Works great. The valves have made noise since day one. From the day I bought it, I didn't never adjust them until about 2,000 miles, I think, is when I finally adjusted the valves. So I did do that. Other than that, I think I've done 2 spark plugs. It never actually needed them. I just did it just for maintenance reasons and not to leave me stranded with a bad spark plug. So 2 spark plugs, 1 set of brake pads, probably 4 oil changes, maybe not even that, way past due right now. I've had to pull the radiator out 1 time to clean it really good because it got some red clay in it from back east. So that was actually when I come out here last year. Had issues with that overheating. Fixed that, no issues there. The brakes have been flawless. You know, 1 set of pads, like I said. Other than that one little overheat incident, the wheel bearing, no other real issues. I guess I should mention that since about 800 miles, that seal where the drive shaft comes out of the back of the motor has been seeping oil. It's not really a concern though, because it's not leaking, and it's been doing that for so long. I'd say if you water ride a lot, you should probably get that fixed. Pretty common problem on the Rubicons. As far as this one though, I haven't fixed it, never worried about it. Hasn't given me any issues. As far as batteries and everything, never had an issue with the battery, never had an issue with any fuses, never been dead. I think I've changed the air filter 1 time. You know, I also have an air filter coming. I have a care package coming from my guys at Honda of Shelby back east. So that air filter's not terrible. It's not the best. I've never swamped this motor. It has seen a lot of high RPM. Lots of high RPM, red line, some crazy nights, stuff like that. It has seen mud. So the motor's basically bulletproof. I don't see any issues with it. Never will see any issues, I don't think. Power steering's been pretty good, even though I feel as if it's starting to get weak. Of course, bigger tires have a play in that. So the power steering still works. It's just not as good as Yamaha power steering or anything like that. So there's no real squeaks in the front end right now. They kind of come and go. Seems like the more miles I put on it, the better it gets. That bushing's finally just quit squeaking. You see I have it outfitted for my adventures. I do a lot of long miles trip now. Long distance, I mean. So I have a lot of stuff in here for survival. If you want a video of all that, we can do that. We can make a video of my overall kit. It's not done yet. I have a lot of improvements to make. I carry this fuel pack's 4.5 gallon, I think, or 4.5 gallon pack. Been carrying that a long time. No issues out of it. Never leaks. Awesome pack. Has been truly amazing. These ODI grips I put on when it was brand new. You see they wore down some. Still work great though, no issues. Never had any issues with it going in or out of 4-wheel drive. Diff lock, everything's always worked. The winch switch has always worked. It's always cranked right up. No issues. Everything's great. The screen still looks good. It's really in pretty good shape for the miles and abuse. I know it looks rough, but I've seen a lot of hard abuse. Dragging logs, dragging foilers, being in mud, high distance trips, high mileage, high RPM, all that plays a factor in the way it looks. This is from a combination of too many good drinks and hitting stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of stories to be told about that. Skid plates, the mounts suck. I've had to replace that one because the skid plate got ripped slap off. My bottom skid plate has gotten caught. I don't know if you can see it. It's zip tied up. Got hit on something, I guess, a rock or something. The bolts are actually completely broke. The mounts are broke. So that's an issue with that. As far as the hitch, that's one strong hitch. Done some serious yanking on logs. Never broke a hitch. I did break a hitch on a Yamaha Kodiak 450, 2018. And it would never do anything like this. So that hitch is strong. These four-wheelers, just, I'm going to say it, are bulletproof. I put four-wheelers through their test, through their paces like nobody else. And I'm here to tell you, you won't destroy one of these. That brings up the next discussion. What four-wheeler am I going to get next? You know, I've always had Hondas. I had a Yamaha Kodiak. I've had some old Big Bears, some old Kodiaks and stuff. But I don't think I'd buy another one of these. You know, I want another four-wheeler here soon. I'm thinking within the next year, I'll get one. I'm not going to buy another Rubicon for this kind of riding. They're kind of too slow and just, it has plenty of power. You know, by no means is it slow. But I'm ready for something with a little more power. I'm really leaning towards a Grizzly 700 for multiple reasons. I know they're reliable, they're fast, they're good, great machines. So leaning towards a Grizzly 700. I was thinking about a Polaris. I went and looked at some, was not impressed with the Polaris at all. So that's why I'm leaning towards a Grizzly. If I do buy another four-wheeler within a year or two, it'd be awesome to see. You know, I hope they don't change the Grizzly. They're awesome. They have some nice colors for the year 24, but I'm not really in a spot to buy one. You know, I just have other things to spend money on. And plus, at the end of the day, this is a 21. That's still pretty good. Has a lot of life left. It doesn't feel significantly wore out, so there's no point in rushing to get a new four-wheeler. I'd love to see Honda make a new four-wheeler. The Rubicon has been the same for so long. I just don't see myself buying one for out here. They're overpriced, and they're so ugly. They're way overdue for an update. So I'd like to see an updated Rubicon. Really, I'd like to see the Rubicon just get offed. Come out with something new. Don't get rid of the Rubicon because that's a perfect work machine. Perfect. Just, this is a very perfect machine overall. I'd like to see, you know, a 700 or 800, something about that size from Honda. Keep the same kind of body we have here would be great. I'd like to see the same body. Maybe go an inch wider, some more stability, maybe an inch or two longer, something like that. But keep this similar shape here, you know, heavy duty bumpers that are pretty decent, nice racks. I like their quick connect system, tons of tie downs. I like the bars on the racks, even though they got rid of those in 22. Would like to see a 7-800, and I'd like to see them interpret a 6-speed DCT, because this four-wheeler, even though it doesn't have very much power, and you probably wouldn't be able to use 6 gear very often because you wouldn't have enough engine power. I feel like if this did have a 6 gear, it'd be awesome. Just give me a couple more miles an hour top speed, excuse me, on the roads. You know, I do a lot of roads, a lot of traveling, and 37 miles an hour. These big tires put me way off, so 37 is more like 42, 43 probably. I know doing 46 on here is like doing 55 normally. So 47, 48 is about the top speed you're going to get out of this according to the speedometer. You know, that's decent. It struggles for that, so you're wound way out. I don't really like that on most applications most of the time. 37 to 39 is about where you want to be. You don't want to be any higher than that. You just really feel like you're hurting it, even though you're not, because I've rode 45 topped out for miles many times. But a 6 gear would be absolutely amazing, I think. Even if they just up this motor's power a little bit. Like I said, you know, a 700 that's not crazy in power, just reliable, has enough of that low-end grunt to keep those gears pulling. Don't need tons of horsepower. Just give me some torque, keep the DCT, make a 6-speed. That would be awesome. I'd love to see that. I'd be first in line to get one. Overall, though, very happy with this machine. Would I buy another one? Absolutely, but not at the same time, because I will always have a Rubicon. I think they're a great machine. Like, say I sold this, I'd want to buy another one. I want one of these. I'd always want one of these around, because I've had this thing 60, 70 miles away from home in one direction many a times. And I've never been stressed, never been concerned, never worried. Am I going to make it home? Am I going to break down? Nothing like that. So even with the miles and some, you know, slight, you know, wore out parts on here, whatever, even with this kind of mileage, I'd still crank it up right now, ride 70 miles that direction, and I wouldn't be worried at all about, am I going to make it home? Never had the issue. Fuel capacity used to be a complaint of mine. A lot of people do still complain that they don't, you know, like the older Hondas, you just fill them up, you go forever and never change it. On this four-wheeler, this is no lie, this is going off of Onyx, and I'll go ahead and give you the comparison. So on here, when I go 100 miles on here, that's more like 112. You should probably be getting fuel at that point for the kind of ride I'm doing. I can get that far. I carry this. Very rarely do I have to dip into this. Most of the time I ride somewhere where I could fill up at a gas station. I think I've only had to use that twice. You know, and that's a lot of miles in a day. Anything over 100 miles in a day, that's a lot. I've went 121 miles before I completely ran out, because I did it one time to see from full to empty, 121 according to Onyx. And I said like 108 or something on here, you know, 107. So was completely out. Had to fill it up. No big deal. Rubicon's got a smaller tank. It's not the end of the world. You still get some decent mileage. These tires have impressed me for the miles, for the kind of riding I do. They handle great. They're wearing out pretty decently for the miles. But I think on the next set of tires, I'm either going to run, I have a stock set on stock wheels. I might throw them on these wheels because these are 12-inch wheels. Go ahead and run those tires out, see how many miles you get on stock tires. Excuse me. And then I like to get some ITP, I don't know the name, but an all-terrain ITP tire, you know, made in USA, good quality tire. And I'd either stay at a 27 or I might even go down a size to 26. Very rarely do I need that clearance and stuff. I mean, when I go in the woods and deal with logs and stuff, which I shouldn't do, but I do. I drag logs out of this thing every year, out of the woods every year with this thing. And these tires really grip in that dirt, and they work great. But gonna go for an all-terrain next time. You know, more of a trail tire, because these are just not terrible, but you feel guilty wearing these on the road all the time. See, that wheel bearing's a little bit loose, not bad. And you can see the bushings and those A-arms are getting wore out. But they're not clanking, they're not loose by any means. Shocks, like I said, could be probably changed here soon. Right there you can see, manufactured April of 21. I put a deposit on it because that was before I turned 18. And they held it for me until I turned 18, got it on my credit, whatever. It's almost paid for now, 2 years old, so can't complain. Definitely going to be getting another one though as soon as I have this one paid off and some money saved up for a down payment on a Grizzly or a new Honda if they come out with one. Anyways, I hope I didn't bore you guys too bad. I know this wasn't the entertaining riding video, but I've had some people say they enjoy me talking more than the music cinematics and the content like that. You know, just talking around the cabin, talking a bunch of nonsense. So if you're still here, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would, please leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel, comment down below some ideas, some content you'd like to see. I need to make a video on that Polaris Ranger my dad purchased. That thing's just, I can go on and on a video on that. That's a joke right there. $38,000 joke is what it is. So I can make a video on that if you guys want to see it. Some riding videos, test, whatever you want to see, just let me know. Maybe even give me some ideas down below. I'm really wanting a Grizzly 700, but if there's something else that would like to see tested, maybe the new Can-Am 700, that would be pretty cool. I'm just kind of scared to take a Can-Am out there in the wilderness, but I don't think it'd be the end of the world. So I haven't forgot either about the 5,000 subscriber giveaway. I just need help with it. I don't really even know how to start. So if anybody knows how to do that, comment down below an idea on how I can distribute something, or how do I do a draw to pick. I mean, do I just do people comment and I pick something, pick somebody? We might as well do something like that. Maybe a specified video, a 5,000 subscriber special. I never made one, but maybe I'll make one and we can do that. Some sort of giveaway specified with that video. As far as what I'm going to give away, don't really know yet. I'm thinking about a batch of these grips maybe. Have multiple winners. Give away 5 sets of these. Or something else. Any ideas would be cool. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you again.